While you do know the big story is big enough to accommodate all your business, can talk business and put that very business on the big story. But anyway, it's still a big one and a need for us to talk about it. We're talking about corruption, especially as it concerns democratic development, not just on the continent, but most especially in the most populous black nation on the planet. And we're talking about Nigeria. With that recent report from Open Society Foundation insisting that it might be a big hindrance to democracy in Nigeria. And what needs to be done is what we will definitely be looking later on the show today. But anyway, we'll still have Comrade Efe Odomo, and we're looking at it together. Before we went on the break, in case you're just joining us, we've missed a great deal. We looked at what seems to be promoting or reasons why it seems to strive in Nigeria. Not just only that, but basically, how really corrupt are Nigerians? And we're looking at how it was pre the return of democracy in 1999, and when it was in 1999, according to Transparency International, saying we're 96th least most corrupt nation. But fast forward some 24 years later, 150 out of 180, well, least most corrupt nation in the planet. We're going, well, anyways, I'll not make me laugh on that, but let's quickly continue our discussion and look at it, because as much as we've said all of these, talking about what's promoting it, looking at the other issues, it's only important that we look at the impact of corruption in Nigeria. And I'll take our minds back to 2012, when Dr. Obi Ekwesili, while presenting a paper titled Corruption and Natural Development, the Bar and the Judiciary at the 52nd Annual General Meeting of the Nigerian Bar Association, said that the country had lost over $400 billion to corruption since independence. And I know some people argued about that very figure, but I'm not really concerned about that. But rather, let's look at what impact corruption has had on Nigeria and the way we live and everything that concerns Nigeria, its impact thus far.
Well, I will answer that question, but I want to quickly draw you back a bit. Sorry for the time.
Okay.
Nigeria got independence in 1960. The total oil money Nigeria realized from 1960 to 1969 is far lower than what Nigeria realized between 1979 and 1983, 4 years period. But that 4 years period, there was no development issue from the oil money. Go and Google it, you will get it.
79 to 83.
Yes, 4 years of the first
civilian rule. Shehu Shagari was
yes.
definitely there in office.
Yes. It's about 4 times the money realized from 1960 to 1979. All those money gone. Now back to your question. The effect, the impact of this corruption on the economy. It is very visible to the eyes.
Not just the economy, on our lives.
No, when you talk of economy,
yeah.
When you talk of economy, you are talking of our lives.
Okay.
Because we cannot live outside the economy. If you do that, which means you are a criminal. I know what the law does to criminals. Like somebody was saying in this music we listened to just now. Somebody steals 20 naira, you put him on crime watch. Somebody steals 100,000, thousands of millions, you say names withheld. It's also a corruption. Now the main issue, when corruption thrives, public utilities die. And when public utilities die, it causes a hyperinflation. And when hyperinflation is on board, it leads to criminal activities because we must make ends meet. We cannot talk of stomach infrastructure where you are not having anything in your stomach. The epileptic power we are talking about, if Nigerians have to be sincere and we actually want to divert corruption, less than 10 people can fix Nigerian power epileptic problems. With the enormous amount of money they have amassed that many people don't even know. I could remember when Chief MK Abiola was still very much around. His so-called rest in peace. Yeah. A traditional ruler said in the West that he should pray to have 10% of what people like themselves have. The traditional ruler was talking to MK. And who were you in those days to talk when MK was talking? But a traditional ruler made that statement. People clapped and laughed. Did any journalist go after that statement to investigate what he meant? Nobody. Now, the corruption has killed the oil industry and it's still killing it till today. In one of the covens where they load oil, far back when I was in secondary school, I was opportune to meet with someone who said when they bed the vessel, the first 1 hour of pumping is not recorded. Then, after 1 hour, they start recording it. That first 1 hour of pumping, the money goes to where? And when you remove any money from any business you are doing, without returning that money, you are pulling down your profit level. And you pull down your profit level to a point, you'll not be able to break even anymore. And when you don't break even, you are automatically asking of folding up of that organization. 3, our IPP, Independent Power Projects.
Yeah.
Are we saying that actually we cannot build those things to up the economy of this nation? Now, how is it that we were able to discontinue with our agricultural produce, which were the mainstream, the mainstay of the economy, when we discovered oil in 1958? Because that was when they lifted the first oil from Nigeria, about 50,000 metric tons. Ever since then, we have now discovered that, oh, you can sit down in the closet of your office without doing anything, and money will start coming in. In 1990, we had a youth copper in my office in Lagos who got the right to lift oil from Nigeria. When he presented the complimentary card of the then minister, who is late now, to the MD, when they looked at it, they said, well, you are too small to lift the oil. We are going to pay you off while we lift it for you. The boy said, well, give me my money. They gave him the money. The boy was living like even a minister while we were in the office, and he was a youth copper. All these corrupt practices, they have all gone unchecked. And major problem, when you advertise for a position to be filled in an office, they will now start allocating positions to people who are already made. This one is reserved for the president. This number of slots is reserved for the governor. This number is reserved for so people. And they will just say a note coming out, this is from Mr. President, okay, come and resume this duty. Knowing fully well that this person may not even have the knowledge of what you are bringing that person in there for. Those are the fundamental basis of this corruption we are talking about. Let merit take its place. Do not allow somebody a recommendation to go after.
So all you are saying is corruption has eroded that belief on merit.
No more merit.
And morals.
No, none of them is gone. If not for corruption, how do you expect a 16-year-old boy to say, but that verse that we just passed now, that boy never is 16 years old, and they don't beat us when parents do. People say, that guy has arrived. The guy hit what? And you will drive through so many checkpoints, even those who are supposed to have checkmated you will stop you and say, I beg, we'll not get fuel. Give us, they call it 30 ton. That is 30 liters. Give us 30 ton. Boy, but no, nothing to you. This is a type of, all these are corruption. You see somebody who is on a salary level of 35,000 naira per month having mansions. And people are saying that, that place the guy they work, the place they pay him. Pay him what? Is he getting extra salary from what he's getting? And the corruption has eaten so deep that if you say, I want to solve this problem now, if you are not careful, it will consume you. Not even if you are not careful, it will actually consume the person. If corruption has not done anything to Nigeria, it has reduced our moral value to zero, that we don't have respect for any institution, unless, of course, what you have in your pocket. Without corruption, Nigeria would have been one of the highest producing nations. We had groundnut in those days. Where are they? We had cocoa in the west. Where has it gone to? We have coal in Kalago, Enugu. Where is it? Where is Peugeot automobile of Nigeria? Pan. Where is Berek? Where is Volkswagen? Where is Bata?
Where is Michelin?
Where is Michelin? The monies that were meant for all these projects, all this
Pan.
Yes, you remember it. You remember Pan? All this money that were meant for all these projects were taken by individuals to invest in their own private businesses, thereby killing the hen that is laying the golden egg. Now look at our hospitals. You will see a doctor in a government hospital. They will give you recommendation. They will tell you the chemist or the pharmacist to go and buy it because they own it. They will tell you no, go to the hospital for operation because either they own it or they have vested interest in that place. And every one of us will say nothing happened. Nothing did happen. Something is happening.
Now, looking at what is happening there, because that will be my next question. This year will go down in history, especially in Africa, as having more democratically elected government being toppled by military dictatorship. But on mining the report from the Open Society Foundation said 74% still favor democracy in Nigeria, or rather in Africa, and by extension Nigeria. But there's this fear that is going on about the issue of democracy on the planet. But how much of a threat now is corruption to democratic norms in Nigeria? Because that's where this whole question lies, especially with that very report coming from the Open Society Foundation a day before yesterday. So how much of a threat is corruption to our democratic belief? Because undermining that report said most Nigerians still prefer democracy because they have the freedom of speech, they have the freedom of human rights, they can easily take any government official to court. Undermining, they still look at the court with a different kind of eyes. But it's also always better than not even having your voice being heard in the first place. Nigeria. Like this program we're doing, if it was a military era, we'll definitely watch what we're saying.
If you don't watch it, then you don't go out of the gate.
So that's the question now. But how much of a problem is corruption to that democratic freedom and belief in Nigeria?
The only problem Africa has is corruption. Because they believe that rulership in Africa is by conquest. You get the victory, everything belongs to you. You dictate the pace. You even tell them what to cook and what not to cook.
Yes.
If you study Nigerian history very well, we are not running a transparent transition program. If I'm living as a governor, I will tell them, put Mike, he will watch over my back. If you are leaving, put this person, he will watch over my back. That is no transparency. Allow the voice of the people to dictate what they want.
So that corruption bridges that?
Yes.
Bringing the best on board?
It bridges it. Because you cannot tell me that you are living, or let's even lower it down to the local level. A governor seated in the headquarters will tell the people that person is the person I want to be the councillor of that ward.
But that is not democracy in itself.
That's not democracy, but that is what we practice. And that is why they say African rulership is by conquest. You dictate everything that goes on. Anybody that refuses to listen to you is on his own. The next thing, it will be either the impeachment threat or direct impeachment. Now, corruption itself has made some people to believe that they are untouchable. They are immovable, they are immortal. And that thing would not go down well with so many people. If you contest an election, 5 political parties contest an election, one party wins, then the other 4 political parties are irrelevant for the total period that the other person will be in power, which is not supposed to be so. Election is defined as 2 or more people coming together to struggle for a common position. And once that position is taken, then spread the fallout to everybody. Get your commissioners, get your board members, get everyone that is from other political parties, and form a unity government, because all of you belong to one country. And they have even made it so bitter now that if you see somebody from this political party attend a ceremony of another person's political party, then they will go and report you with so person.
Are you liable to anti-party activity?
Exactly, which is not supposed to be. Party is different from individual.
So all you're saying is corruption has really stopped that unity, that normally, and development that should normally be during democratic rule.
Exactly.
Okay, but anyway, because of time, because we'll quickly come to solution, it has just come to light that the special investigator and auditors and forensic accountants carrying out investigation under Emefiele as governor of the CBN has just discovered a mind-blowing irregularities and financial dealings that might even force the Apex Bank to withdraw its audited annual financial report, which was released last year, that gave them anyway, I know, sorry about that. I know you laugh about that, but we also discussed about that report from the CBN and how it was so easy and so quick for them to give themselves beautiful indications and indices on how things have gone. But anyway, don't laugh it out, but please just hold on.
I'll smile.
Okay, well, smile. Smile will do now. But my question is, this is one of so many revelations that have come on board or come to light on account of corruption. But we can be here and we'll talk for hours and hours if we do not actually look at how we can really stop it. Many will say, is it the laws? Just like you said initially, that it looks as if we have a law or we have lack the law. But many will also argue with you that we seem to have the law, but we do not have a law that bites. And when you do not have a law that bites,
which means you don't have.
Which means you don't, but it is there. It is there on the paper. It's right there because we have legislators that are paid more than every other on the continent, and they give these laws. So they are there. But the problem is, what do we now do to curb it? Because that's the major ground. That's where it stands. That's the way forward in dealing with the issue of corruption.
If you have a suit that you have not brought to request at all, it's in your cupboard, and you have it.
Yeah.
Will Quest say you have that suit?
Of course not.
So those laws, as far as I'm concerned, they are not there. If they are there, then somebody should be operating them. Now, since the government has failed on their part to checkmate their members, let the civil society do. Like the SERAP, other organizations can come up. Let these people put them on their toes so that they will know that somebody is watching my back.
Okay.
And going a bit further, I made a statement last year, that is during the build-up of the electionary campaign.
Yeah.
People said, but what type of the policy is that? Anything in life is triable. If APC that wins the federal is there now, let the opposition party, the party that came second, produce the Senate president. The party that came third, produce the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Let there be check and balance. So that if you are erring, no, we are not taking this on you. We are not doing this. We are not doing that. That was what helped in the period of that was the second. Was it the first time of Buhari or second tenure when Saraki was the Senate president?
The Senate president.
Yes,
that should be his first tenure.
That thing actually helped a lot in the country because not all the president wanted were passed because they look at it and know this one is a selfish interest issue. We are not going to pass this. When we come to this very administration now, people were saying that they want the Senate president the president can work with. You are not the Senate president to Mr. President. You are a Senate president to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You are accountable to the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Rather than Mr.
President. So as it is now, if Mr. President just come and say, okay, I'm declaring war on the West, the Senate president will just sign because Mr. President has talked and he wants to satisfy Mr. President. There must be somebody who will call the shot and look at the bosses if I point to eyeball and say, my Oga, this thing is not doable. But when you have yes sir subordinates, we are continuing and will continue to be falling into the traps of these people. If we can do that, they call it a Brazil plan. People say it is alien. What is alien in the world? Did IBB not bring option A4? Was option A4 in our constitution? Did we not apply it? If not for the fact that the man refused to add salt to the stew he cooked, it should have been the best policy on earth in Nigeria as far as Nigeria is concerned. So if we actually want to checkmate all these people, let there be social organization. Public interest should come into play. Like SERAP, they have taken the lead. Other people could come up. Now they have balkanized labor. Labor can no longer buy it. But other people, a dreaded man that cannot fight, that's a junior brother that is powerful. Let other people come up and support this noble fight. Now they have given the governors an ultimatum. Tell us what you do with the 2 billion, how many billion given to you.
As palliative.
As palliative. If you cannot account for it, we take you to court. And they stand by it. Then another one comes tomorrow and said, okay, you are the local government chairman. Okay, you are the senator. The constituency project they gave to you. Tell us how you have applied that money. We give you so number.
So it's all about asking them or taking them up and bringing about accountability. That's all.
Accountability cannot come first.
Okay.
When that man is recalcitrant, it cannot come first. Accountability will come as a last result.
Okay.
We have given you 20 billion. Account for it. Say no, okay. Today you don't answer, tomorrow you don't answer. We are giving you the next 3 weeks to respond. If you don't, we'll take you to court. That will be the normal process.
We'll come to the issue of court because I really want us to go there, and that is where we really lie as it concerns ensuring that we hold most of these leaders accountable. Because like I said, according to that open government, our open society report, they feel 70% of politicians are not trusted. But anyway, I trust you, hold on, because we need to go on a break now. But when we come back, we'll continue our discussion centered on corruption and how much of an hindrance it has been for democracy to thrive on the most black or populous black nation on the planet. Let's go on a break.